Sorry guys, it's a little noisy. I'm crossing the bridge over a lake right now. I'm going to one of the oldest state parks in America. The water feature, the pond and the waterfall that is there is one of the first landscape jobs I did back in 1997. It was one of the first jobs we did, and I almost broke my leg that summer doing this job where I'm going. I already called the state park, spoke to the girl that's one of the attendants there, and they gave me permission. However, if the groundskeepers come up to me and want to know what I'm doing, I just told them that I'm documenting it for my own personal reference, which basically I am. But I didn't say I was doing a YouTube video because they frown on that stuff. But I wanted to show you guys the water feature that I put in. This thing was pretty expensive to do. And I dealt with some of the biggest, heaviest rocks in the landscape career. And that's why I almost broke my leg installing this thing. And it was all done by hand. These boulders were hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And I got them off the dump truck one by tilting the box, and then I'd get at the top of the box with pry bars and I would walk the boulders all the way down until they would start to just roll right off the truck. It was an incredibly hard job. And I put in all the piping to it, the filter boxes, the pump, hooked up the electrical system, did it all. And so I just thought I'd go up here and document to you guys, because I don't have any pictures of it way back when I did it. And I thought I would share it with you guys and show it to you. There are groundskeepers and stuff here, so I don't know if anybody will ask me what I'm doing. Go around these. Alright you guys, I'm going to shut the camera off and I'll bring you back. Okay guys, this is the water feature I put in. And man, this water looks terrible. The runs aren't even flowing. But underneath this cap right here is the pump. You can probably hear it running. And I got there's 3 levels of filters in there. There's PVC pipe. It's got like little cradles inside the plastic tank. And PVC crosses that, and it's got filters in it. And 3 different layers of them. And then up at the top, the spillway box has got filters in it. And these 2 runs, I built these runs. The pipe goes around the pond, PVC pipe, and then it goes up that run up there. And that's where the water gets pumped up to. So all the plants are different. We used to have this thing just covered in flowers, and they got it all chained off. And there used to be fish in there, but not anymore. I don't know what they did with the fish. But I took all these rocks off the truck by hand. All these giant boulders that sit underneath. Boy, how different it looks. It actually looks terrible, you guys. They haven't maintained this at all. But the fountain grass, the happy return daylilies, and the different irises. But it doesn't look the same at all. Not at all. Now the biggest boulders, this one right here, sitting underneath this garden hose. And this one right here are the ones that I almost broke my leg over, taking them off the truck. But you can see the filters there sitting in the box. That actually had a lid to it, and then rocks would sit on top of it, and you'd build the rocks up, and then it would go over and then down, and that's what would cover and hide that. But they don't even have it assembled right. And then the pond liner came down to these flat pavers that you see behind there. That's flagstone. behind that. And then the pond liners used to tuck underneath the larger rocks, and then we had just colorful gravel going down both runs. And that, so, jeez. They've almost let this thing go to wild. There's bamboo growing in here and everything. And then the variegated fountain grass. But yeah, that would spill over, and then it hit that flagstone, which would divert. And we had it to where the center rock that's in there, as well as divider rocks. So when the water come off, 50% went this way, 50% went that way, and it would run quite heavy. I mean, this would be rushing and actually making noise like a stream. And then it would spill out down here at the bottom. So, yeah, I mean, it's just awful, you guys. They haven't cleaned the pond or anything. And those holes that you see down there, those are planter holes. There'd be big pots that would sit down in there, and then there'd be like lilies that would have flowers on them and stuff, and it would provide shade for the fish. And all the stonework around here would bring it in by the yards. There it goes. There it goes. Somebody just turned it on. See, I'm being watched, you guys. They're watching me. I told them I was coming up to take pictures of it. Now you can see it flowing. You can see how it's an equal 50% coming off each run. Boy, this was a lot of work. We dug this out by hand with shovels, round point shovels, 3 of us guys. George, Dick, and I. The 3 of us. I miss working with George and Dick. They were good workers. But yeah, we dug this all out, had to get the grade just right. Then we rolled out this huge liner. The pond takes up one big giant roll, and then the runs up here, both sides of the fountain runs, were 2 long sections that we cut in half to do the runs on it. And then the shelf around the perimeter of the pool used to have capstones going all the way around, and you can see several are missing because you can see the gravel exposed on certain edges. So they don't, and these aren't the same capstones that we use. We made it so it was all natural. And it had a lot of koi swimming around in here. The kids used to throw their pennies in and stuff. I installed this fountain in 1997. And the wiring and everything goes right over here to this power pole. You can barely see the wire sticking out right there by the Happy Returns daylilies. And it looks terrible. You're supposed to scrub these liners and clean it out with a filter, almost like doing a swimming pool, because the algae grows on the rubber. It's a heavy gauge rubber, and we'd have to get all the wrinkles to lay flat, and it was very hard to get this thing to lay just right without poking any holes in it. But yeah, this is one of the biggest water features I put in, and that's why I wanted to come up here today and show you guys. And I had the cord all hidden, and now you can see it's exposed. It's been worked up and out, but it goes over here, and this is where it ties in right here to the power pole. So, and I had to wire it down there to the filter because the water goes in through that hole. It filters itself. It gets pumped and recycles back up through the run on the other side, comes up to this tank up here where it gets filtered again, and then it runs down. So both filter systems help each other to keep the water clean, and to where you don't have to clean the filters as often. But these filters used to be as white as this fence, and you can see how dingy they are. They are not taking care of this at all. There's lots of weeds in here, weeds growing in the gravel. You can see the landscape fabric is exposed up to where the boulders are. We had the gravel and everything going right up to the edge. When this was installed, you guys should have seen it. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was one hell of a water feature, and it flowed with a lot of volume and a lot of power. But yeah, these 2 big boulders back here is where I almost broke my leg. I had to take all these rocks off the truck by hand, and that filter is just choked with algae and just gross. They don't even hide the tank anymore. The pond liner is supposed to be totally hidden. You should not see any of this black rubber at all. It was made to look all natural, to where it would be underneath all the rocks, but then with all the different stones you put into place like a puzzle, and then you have your gravel bed run, and then the water would just flow down over the gravel. And now look how much of the liner is exposed. You see just as much liner as you see rocks. Just terrible. Just awful. But anyway, this is the type of thing that I could build. So I'm gonna head back out, you guys, because I can't show you the rides. I don't have permission. There's a peek of one right there. I used to come up here when I was 5 years old. So that's the fountain, you guys. I'm actually surprised that the state kept it and it's still there. That's the picnic area. All up in the woods, you got picnic tables everywhere. But this is a kiddie park for little kids. This is where you bring children. This park doesn't have any rides for adults. And the oldest carousel in the United States is down there, right near our lake. This is right on the lake shore, right on the water. And there's a carousel down there. It's the oldest in America, and it's all been restored, and that thing is huge and absolutely beautiful. I wish I could show you guys, but I don't have any permission to show any of the rides in here. It's too bad. They only turned on the fountain long enough just to like to get a couple pictures, and then they turned it right back off. Can you believe that? Absolutely ridiculous. And they did take out some of the best rides for kids that were here. And they were old, but they were always kept up and fully maintained, and the state took it out. It's too bad. And they gave me permission to come here when they're closed, because otherwise you need reservations, you got to stay 6 feet apart, and you got to wear a mask while you're outside at that park. Can you believe that? I'll tell you what this country is coming to is unreal. So anyway, guys, I just thought I'd show you that. I like visiting old landscape jobs to see how it's held up over the years. Like I said, that was put in back in 1997, pre-9/11 days, the good old days. But there's other jobs I can visit. I just wish they took better care of it, because when we put that in, that thing was absolutely beautiful. It was covered with beautiful flowers. It was so colorful to look at. The water was so clean. There was fish swimming in there. Of course, everything looks great when it's new, but it's been there for years and years, and nobody's taking care of it. They don't even maintain it. So, it's too bad. So I'll be having other places to go, you guys. Got many adventures I want to do. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.